Right, so this is the first video of our series, Are You Headed for an Energy Crisis? And this one is going to set the introduction to the 16 energy depleting behaviors that could be sabotaging your performance and productivity and ruining your work-life balance. And I will be going into an overview of what the 4 sources of energy are so that you can get an idea of that before we go into the next videos, which actually breaks down each of those 4 sources and the specific strategies and techniques you can use to help you to increase your energy in those areas. So before we get to that though, let me introduce myself. I teach busy women professionals the science of how to build high performance and capacity from the inside out by activating and renewing their internal energy charge. So it's all about capacity. Capacity is what allows you to get more done in less time at a higher level of engagement and in a more sustainable way. So even if you're at work, you know that the time you're spending there, you're getting the most done that you possibly can. That's capacity. That is what my program's all about. So a little bit more about what you're going to learn today. I mentioned about the 4 sources of energy. I'm also going to show you the best productivity hack available. It's all about getting as much done as you can and focusing on the right things, spending your time on the items that are going to move your business and your life forward, and not spending your time on things that don't matter. And in this day and age, that's extremely hard to do. I will also show you a simple but powerful ritual for diffusing negative emotions, meaning that when you are in that situation, you feel your stress starting to come up, your heart starting to pound fast, someone is in your office angry or upset, how do you handle that? I'm going to show you how. And also how you can cultivate positive emotions whenever you want. Something that's really great to know how to do, especially in those situations like I was just telling you about. And then 3 vital categories to clarify your priorities in your life and establish rituals around those priorities. And I will go into a little more detail about how powerful rituals are in your life to help you to create those habits to get you where you need to be. So quickly, my mission is to empower you, the busy female professional, to manifest your highest potential by learning how to manage those internal energy sources I'm going to teach you about. Most importantly of all is I want to begin a movement to help increase the number of women leaders in our world. There's just not enough of us. And the only way to help there be more women leaders is to help give them the tools they need to lead those thriving businesses while living fulfilling and balanced lives. So many women leaders give up their personal lives and their families and the time on with themselves and everything else that's so important to give to everyone else. And it doesn't lead to a very fulfilling or balanced life. So I'm going to show you how you can change that. So we are absolutely in a leadership energy crisis. Arianna Huffington said it really well in her book Thrive when she said, too many of us leave our lives and in fact our souls behind when we go to work. How many of you feel like that? I know I used to. So long hours are contributing towards stress for working women. Here's a few stats for you, which I think you might find interesting. 29% of high achievers and 34% of ultra achievers work more than 50 hours a week. A significant proportion of these women are on the job 10 to 20 more hours a week than they were just 5 years ago. Among ultra achievers, 25% are away on business at least 5 nights every 3 months. And according to research by these sociologists, the percentage of women working at least 50 hours a week is now higher in the US than any other country. Here's the most important one on this page, I feel. 74% of the workforce is experiencing a personal energy crisis. And that leads me into the energy assessment. So are you headed for an energy crisis? Like 74% of the workforce, that's a lot of people. You might be. So the assessment that came with this video is going to help you realize if you are or not. So at this point, I'd like to show you the assessment and go over how to do it in case you're not sure. And then I'm going to stop this video before I next move to the next one so that you can do it, because that is going to make this whole video training series much more useful for you. So here's the assessment. And again, do be as truthful as possible with yourself on the answers. It's easy to sometimes sugarcoat or maybe think it's not that bad. Just put what you know is to be true. So you're going to check the statements that are true for you, meaning that as you go through the 4 different sources of energy, which you can see here in body and emotions are 2 of them, there's 4 questions per category. So if you don't regularly eat, get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and you often wake up feeling tired, then you're going to check that. That's going to be a yes. And so for each of these, read through, check it off if this applies to you. Okay, so we're going to have the body questions, the emotions, right? The 4 questions for that, the mind and your focus, your spirit, the energy of purpose and meaning in your life. Okay, so check those off. And what you're going to do is you're going to add up the total numbers of statements that were checked off. So there's 16 total, just how many of them had check marks. And then you're going to add it up. If you had 0 to 3 checked off, you have excellent energy management skills. If you had 4 to 6, you're reasonable. 7 to 10 mean you're heading into significant energy management deficits. And if you're at 11 to 16, that means you do have a full-fledged energy management crisis. And then you can look on the categories. So you had the 4 categories. How many checks did you have in each of those? So under the body category, there were 4 questions. Did you have 1, 2, 3, or all 4 of the questions checked off? Okay, so you're going to write 4 there if you had all 4. Under mind, did you have 2 or 3 of the 4? And so forth. Okay, then you have this guide to your category scores. So none checked off means you're excellent, you're good. If you have 1 checked off in each category, it means you have strong skills. If you have 2 checked off in each category, that means you do have significant deficits. If 3 are checked off, poor energy management, and if you have all 4 checked off in all 4 categories, you are in a full-fledged energy crisis. You need some help. All right, so, and then another way to read your results is how it applies to my program, Jumpstart Your Performance and Energize Your Life. So if you scored a 7 to 16 on the audit, which is high, and a 2 to 4 in the category scores, okay, you definitely do need help. You're a good fit for my program. If you scored a 1 to 6 on the audit and a 0 to 1 in the category scores, you're probably doing fairly well already. My program may not be a good fit, although I do recommend you still watch the rest of this webinar series just to make sure. Okay, so that is the assessment. And if you need any help with it, send me a message on Facebook or on my website and I can help you out. I'll see you in the next video.